Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This is Rob Shmuel. There it is down there, Rabbi Stephen. Rob Shmuel ben Yehoshua, Rashbi here with you with this week's Devar Torah. So I'm coming back. Yes, I've had a little bit of a break, much needed. I really love what I do, but sometimes even when you love what you do, you get so involved in it that you kind of need a little bit of time just to do nothing, to just kind of hang and not have all these tasks that you have to do. And I'm feeling a little bit relaxed and ready to come back. And you know my wife and I were involved in a wedding over the weekend. I, of course, officiated. And one of the things I like about doing weddings for people that are not in the area or part of the congregation is meeting a lot of different people, a lot of different Jewish people, and talking to them and hearing about what they're doing to practice their Judaism. And sometimes people have questions, et cetera, et cetera. But it's nice getting to know people and know that we're all really one big family. We really kind of are. We come from the same tribe, or from it. We're all Israelites, and it's just wonderful to kind of get together. Okay, so I'm going to get right into this. Vayigash, okay, and he approached. So we've got the climax of the situation. I know I kind of skipped a month, skipped a week by being away. So I'm going to kind of fill in a little bit. So when we last left our heroes, okay, Joseph, 17-year-old brat, was daddy's favorite, got to hang out with dad at home while everybody else, while the other brothers were off working. He was given this coat that signified chieftain. That's really what the meaning of the coat was. It wasn't just, it was a beautiful coat, had lots of colors. So they say, it was a symbol. It was a sign. It was a sign of rank. And that's really what upset the brothers so much. And of course, Joseph comes up to take see what they're doing. He's checking on them. He has this attitude. They throw him into a pit. The brothers want to kill him. Judah and Reuben intervene and say no. Meanwhile, he's taken as a slave. He's passed from one people to another, ends up in Egypt, ends up as the head of the household for a couple of years with one of Pharaoh's ministers, is set up and falsely accused by the minister's wife, who wants to get involved with him. And of course, Joseph has these morals, and he pushes her off. She resents him, sets him up, accuses him of attacking her. He's put in prison for 12 years, where he becomes what we would consider a trustee. He's assistant to the warden. He ends up using his gift of prophecy to foretell the dreams of a couple of chamberlains, assistants there. And it's finally, he gets recognized. Now, and in doing so, he ends up becoming enamored of Pharaoh, who he predicts correctly that we'll have 7 years of plenty. Then we're going to have 7 years of famine. Okay, the plenty will be basically in Egypt. This is how he interprets the dream. But the famine will be worldwide, widespread, and we need to store food. Pharaoh listens to him. Turns out he is correct. He saves the day. Now his brothers are coming to acquire some food, and they don't know that this is their misgotten brother. He's now older. He's got a beard. He's dressed as an Egyptian. He uses the different names, Aphaneth Paneah, that which is hidden. And Joseph plays a little, I don't want to say maybe a game with them, but he tests them to see if they're penitent, if they still hate him, if maybe, his full brother, Benjamin, is now the object of their disdain. So he tests them a little bit. And of course, the brothers are penitent. They feel bad about what they've done. Judah comes up after Joseph sets up Benjamin to take the fall for stealing and maybe be a slave for life. Judah comes forward and offers himself in place of Benjamin. After all, if he's a thief, why do you want him in your house? You want me. I'm older. I'm better. I could do more things for you. And at that point, Joseph reveals himself. So there's a lesson here. How many of us, and when I say us, I mean me too. How many of us have been in a little bit of self revealing there? How many of us have been in situations where we're falsely accused or where there's somebody above us that is lording us over us? The word bully can mean a lot of different things. When we think of bully, what do we think of? Some kid on the playground during grammar school is, has attracted all these kids around him and he's just kind of teasing people and maybe picking on people. But bullies are in different shapes and form. A bully can rise to ranks in a company, in a military service, and they just love their power and they love the fact that they're over people. Yeah, it's an issue of self-esteem. And how many of us have been mistreated for whatever reason? We go to a company, somebody doesn't like us, we're at the will of them and we get treated unfairly. Okay. Joseph, treated unfairly. Now, some may say, well, he kind of brought it on himself by being such a brat, and maybe he did. But the point is, what did he do with it when it happened? What did he do when he got into into the minister's, Potiphar's, the minister's household? He exemplified the ideal worker. Remember how Jacob, okay, he worked for Laban, and Laban, as Jacob accused him, changed their agreement hundreds of times, and yet Jacob still stayed the course. He still performed his job, performed his duties with as best as he could. So did Joseph. Joseph was in the court of Potiphar. He was head of household. He did the best he could. Yeah, he resisted the advances of Potiphar's lonely wife, who was left alone while Potiphar was out, doing his duties. And she sees this young, hot kid, in her household, and she's wants him, and he resists her, so she, resents him. But the point, and Joseph gets put in prison for 12 years, where once again he becomes an exemplary trustee. He does the bidding of the warden. He helps as much as he can. He becomes he foretells the dreams, and what happens? He ends up second in command of Egypt. The lesson here, folks, is make the best of any situation you're in. Do the best you can. It's easy, and we all have that temptation, to revert to resentment and want revenge and want to get back at people. It's human traits. After the Garden of Eden, God looks at mankind, at the young mankind, and he says mankind's evil. They've got evil in them, but we've got the Asher Hara, the evil force, and we've got the Sher Tov, the good force. We can choose. This is what choice is all about. We can choose the good force. We can choose to make the most out of any situation we are in. Joseph shows us this. It may take some time. I'm sure, year or two of his 12-year prison term wasn't really the greatest, and he had to rise to that occasion. But when people talk about taking the high road, they end up being victims. They end up, I'm taking the high road. I'm not going to revert to that. And, I'm a good person. And you know what, folks? Use opportunities. Look for the opportunities and don't let them pass you by. Do the best you can. Yeah, you might get passed over a little bit. Sure, things aren't perfect. They weren't perfect for Joseph, but he proved himself. Even when he foretold the Chamberlain's dream and he ended up back, the drink. Even when he ends up back in Pharaoh and Joseph says, put in a good word for me, and the guy forgets until 2 years later when Pharaoh has his dream, and all of a sudden the Chamberlain remembers. Did he remember because, it's a good time, he wanted to get on Pharaoh's good side, or if Pharaoh discovered that you got this Hebrew slave in prison that can accurately foretell the future, he's going to be like, why didn't you tell us? And here we are in trouble again, okay? But it all worked out. Now, we look at the Torah and the situations are almost perfect. I mean, it's like a TV script. Life isn't like that, but life can work out. Take those opportunities. Learn from Joseph. Make the most of any situation. and we'll see what happens. Okay, happy Hanukkah, everybody. Yes, it's a minor holiday, but you know what? It's a great holiday. It's fun. We're going to have a good time at our Hanukkah celebration. More to come. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. And we'll see you again. Thanks for watching.